Good morning. My name is King David, as you all know, the graphic designer. So, my KD topic this morning is introduction to UX design. So, first of all, when we talk about designing is all about solving problems. So, when you are designing, sometimes we, as the user, we have an experience in different products that we use, either a good experience or a bad experience. So that's why we have what we call the UX designer, that is user experience. So basically, the work of the UX is to design a product in which when it come out, it will look nice, user friendly, and good. According to Don Norman, the grandfather of UX, he defined UX as a digital or physical product that is useful, easy to use, and delightful to interact with. It's all about enhancing experience that people have while interacting with your product. So, yeah, I said UXD or UX design, which means user experience. Is a way people feel about using a product, system, or services. You know, some people when they hear UX, they tend to say, okay, it's basically for web designers or programmers. So UX design is fast. It's basically for either physical product. It could be a phone. It could be a vehicle. It could be a soap. Anything. So far, you are having an experience in that product. So, yes, what is UX? What is experience? So, experience is any interaction someone can have with the project. Like the interaction, I can see some people pressing their phone, the interaction you have with your phone, that is an experience. So the user is basically people like you, like me, your father, your mother, grandfather, your friends, they are all users. So far you are in this planet Earth, you are a user. So UX UXD definition. So I define UX design as the process of designing digital or physical products that are useful, easy to use, delightful to interact with. It's about enhancing the experience that people have while interacting with your product and making sure they find value in what you provide. So when you produce something that's not easy to use, you know, people will not come back to that your product. People they will even advise some people not to use that your product. But when the product is good, your product will advertise itself. People will keep on telling you. So example of a good UX. I made an example here, like as you can see the banana, for instance. The banana one of is one natural good UX by Mother Nature. The banana is very sweet. It's easy to access. You can take it anytime. You can eat it anytime. So, so at a glance, when you see a banana like now, when you see this color now, already tells you that a banana is ripe. So when you see it like this, you know it's ready to use. And when you see it like this, nobody needs to tell you that it's not yet ripe for you to put on for it to be yellow before you use, before you consume. So it's very easy to access. It's not difficult, not stress. So, example of a bad UX, like you can see this Apple Magic Mouse. The Apple Magic Mouse looks very good. The eye is very sweet when using it. But the disadvantage here is that you charge it, like it uses power to charge, and when charging you cannot make use of it. That's the disadvantage. So if a product can look very good in the eyes, but if it is not user friendly, like now if I'm using this mouse now, I cannot, whenever I'm charging it, I can't make use of the mouse. So until the thing is full before I will use the mouse. So this is it's when you plug it, when you are charging it, you cannot make use of it. So it's a bad UX because people will get frustrated. Like when the battery gets low now, you come and start charging it, and maybe you are doing a work, you now paying your work because you are charging your mouse. You cannot use. So when designing a product, you need to make it very user friendly for you to interact with. Also on websites, I said websites are just like any artifact that people need to have interaction with. If it's difficult or unpleasant, they won't come back. A pretty website is not always a usable website. So you can see a website that is very pretty. Oh, I like the color, but if it is not user friendly, like maybe I just click on a website and I don't know where to start and where to end. So I will get frustrated and I will never come back to that website. Take for example, if Facebook or Google is not user friendly, people won't be going there to search for stuff or anything. So there are some fundamental concepts for a good UX. So we have the interaction design, the information architecture, the visual design, the functionality, usability, typography, the user interface, and the content strategy. So here, the interaction is basically how users interact with your product or website. The way they use your website, they click, they scroll, an action taken by the user on your website. So that is the experience they gain when using your designs. So the user interface, which is the UI of the design, is basically, for example, as I use here, everything is and interacts with on the site. That is so like the registration, the login, basically everything you see and interact with. Visual design. Visual design is basically anything you see on the page. It incorporates everything from image and layout, typography, the illustrator, like the squares and the shapes, or even the white space in the design. So when designing, first of all, when you get to a website and you see that everything is just posted anyhow, just look here, you'll be confused, look here, you'll be confused. So sometimes your web pages need to be simple, the color needs to be, typography needs to be simple. Illustrators also use the white space again. Also, typography too is very essential, because sometimes if the texts are not visible enough or it is not readable enough, people will they will get slight difficulty in understanding the information you are passing. So you need to make your text very good and simple, able to see. So yeah, I said if your user have even the slightest bit of difficulty understanding the information on your site, it will cause a negative impression. impact their overall experience, creating a consistent and accessible visual language will help the reader understand your content the way you want them to. So usability. Usability, if your audience can't use your products, they certainly won't want to use it. When it comes down to it, when it comes down to it, a system usability should be effortless. The less attention the user had to pay to figure out how to use the system, easier it would be for them to accomplish the task at hand. So if your design is not very user friendly, people won't come back to it. They'll look for other alternatives as well. So the information architecture is an incredibly important part of UX. The creation of a structure for a website. Organizing the information in a way that helps user understand where they are as well as what they need or where they need to go to accomplish their task. Users need everything. AI helps structure and organize websites to achieve this without this. The user will be left confused, created, unlikely, done. So if the product images and show here, if it is not well structured, not well, so people get frustrated when they see your site. The content. Content can be anything from product information, the blog, the videos, podcasts too, on social media. It's a great tool for building leadership and showing your expertise. It will also contribute to your user impression, your brand, and the tone, the experience they have while interacting with it. Make sure you have a robust content strategy in place that will contribute positively to the experience your users are looking for. So sometimes your site needs to update some videos, needs to show some podcasts, the blog posts also. Make sure it's always updated for users to interact with. Functionality. Your products or your design must be very, very functional. If not, people will get frustrated and leave it. So this final concept is a simple one. Your product, services, websites must allow your user to complete their desired action. When, for instance, you are trying to do something on the site and all of a sudden you want to click the last button and something like 104 completely just pop out or any error message just pop out. You will get frustrated and leave the site. You will even be telling other people, "Oh, boy, see what I'm getting from this type of something." What alternative needs to do it. So in summary, I said UX is everything that touches the mind of your experience with a product. UX in a way, UX is a way you experience the world. UX designers make research of how people feel about an existing product, making the product so user-friendly. In order to have a good UX, there are some basic fundamentals to follow. Thank you. Nine. Thank you. Any question? Sorry?
Can you show us an example of website UX, for instance, a good one and one that doesn't match?
So hopefully this is introduction to UX design. And you just give it to your tools. So maybe the next skill will be more practical. But I know there are tools to design more course for UX design. We all need to learn that. What to do is something we can grab now. And some of us already know we do that when we have information, we have information. For example, your slide itself and I know this is how I do it. If I was doing it. So maybe your next presentation, we see better UX in your slide. And that will be an example for us to do. And as I said, there are tools and it should be more practical class.
But I also think for better UX, like these people.
What?
Big thing. That looks like
Definitely.
I just say,
Yeah, you use tools now, social, all this. I've noticed your opportunities and you don't personalize it there. We are trying to learn those things. Don't just come and show us this how much you do like. Where are the ones your tools and how can you use them? You are like a programmer too. You say programmer showing us theory side and now going to the side. Ensure that you use your own work. So show us how you use your work.
Any other?
so for social media, coming from a UX, more than things like you can improve on.
I can improve on. Number one is the usability.
You know that.
It's already saying it. You just said usability.
Like when you see the product now. Like the first time I used version 5, I got frustrated. If I was yes, like it took me long time to do it, and even when I opened a particular site, or when I want to apply for a loan, it doesn't work. So I had issues.
And you really do
But I told you now, actually, you are the one. No, you are the one that asked.
Something after. Because about UX, this is in this case. And of course, there's UI part. What are the major differences?
There are difference between the UI and the UX. UI is like the user interface. That is
What is
the
that?
structure. Yes, what you are seeing and you are interacting with. That is the UI. Then the UX is the experience you get.
That means
From
things
that.
like
UX is the experience you get from it.
what
And
was
UI
showing
is
us
what
what experience you get from UI is when you talk about the
yes,
design.
design and what you're interacting with. Yes, you know, they are too different. They are too different. They are too different. You know, we have, excuse me, we have UX designers and we have UI designers and we have UX UI designers. There are some people that deal on UX. There are some people that deal on UI.
So the question is how they design. How much has been done?
How they design. That is the UI. That is the UI part of
You said you have UX design and have UI design.
it. Yes.
How do they design UX and UI?
That is what I have been saying. That the
So guys, I will say, can we design for the kids now? Can we go outside?
this is just like an introduction.
That's it.
Yes. It's an introduction.
Yeah, sorry, but if I can explain something. Yes, developers they don't actually do mock-ups and all of that. Somebody said something about video chats. What they do more of interactions. They can send you like a list of a checklist. You just want to get your own observation about something. Most of them are like psychologists. They don't, it's what they don't find out. They now put into their UI knowledge. That's which ones that don't feel like UI developers. They now say, okay, this guy does not understand what an hamburger menu is. Let's do it this way. So they basically they work a bit like theoretically. They work with a lot of theory, they do a lot of findings. Then the UI guys are not the ones that will not take the interpretation of the UX guy and say, okay, let's put this into action. So yes, they do mock-ups and all of that. But where they start from the human interaction perspective first. Before they go on and tell us this picture is not for us.
What kind of mock-up do you design?
That's what I was saying. They don't actually do, they are not based on mock-ups, so to say. They are more of how do you interact with this?
Yeah, I understand. Maybe I'm not getting similar. For example, because I'm B2 on UX, or UI, or UX. Because that's when you show, people that so you don't want to do it.
It's that show, right?
That's when you show. That's when you are able to say, okay, user click this will happen. That's when you interpret those things, man. You don't know that you used to interpret those things.
Alright, so basically what you said before, this is more like an introduction. So it's probably going to find out how you want to now show us how to do UX, and if it's very more about it, we're looking for that. So that will make more sense. So I don't know. Any more questions? Alright.